Welcome to That's Canon, the podcast talking about the Canon film series and other similar movies. This is episode 54, and I'm Phil.
And I'm Greg.
And we watched The Naked Cage today,
The Naked Cage.
a woman in prison movie.
Yes, I think we've bounced around our catalog a little bit. So I think we've mentioned this probably at the end of 2 or 3 episodes now. So we're finally watching it.
Yes. That's exactly what my wife said. She was like, "Weren't you supposed to watch this like weeks ago?" And I was like, "Yeah."
I think wasn't this originally slated to be the last one before the holidays?
It was,
or at least like early Jan, or maybe the first one after New Year, something like that. Yep, we're finally doing it. And weirdly, I just realized that how similar this is entitled to The Naked Face, right? Right, that was the name of the movie with not James Bond, right?
Yeah, with Roger Moore.
Roger Moore, yeah.
Huh. Yeah. A lot of
little tidbit.
Not this, despite it being called Naked Cage, while there was nudity, there was a lot less nudity than
than you were expected. Yeah. I think I came away with the same kind of conclusion, whereas like, either we're just really desensitized or that wasn't as bad. I was expecting it to be.
I'm glad you're saying that. I'm glad you said it first because I'm going to say it too. The movie wasn't nearly as sleazy as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I don't, because like you said, like there was still some nudity. It was very sleazy. It was exploitative. There were some rape scenes. I mean, it was a canon movie for sure, but it didn't have, I don't know. At this point, Last American Virgin is like the bottom bar for me in terms of just like, I hate it and I want to punch the movie because it's so horribly exploitative. But it didn't sink nearly as low as I was expecting given what the premise is, right? I mean, it could have been way worse.
Oh yeah, definitely. And despite it having like the jail setting, there really wasn't a lot of, while there was some racial thing, it wasn't overly racist either.
Yeah, that too. Which, and I'm probably going to compare this to Orange is the New Black a lot through our review, but like that's the most popular piece of media in this genre that I think has been around recently, right? I mean, that was a huge show and it was at its peak. And I mean, I think it was realistic in the way that it kind of showed sort of like the cliques along racial lines that kind of sort of coalesce in prison settings. I don't know. It didn't feel like it was being overtly racist. It was just kind of trying to show that in a realistic way.
Yeah, exactly. No, I totally agree. So the writer director Paul Nicholas, this is his second woman in prison film. He actually made another one called Chained Heat with Linda Blair. This is like obviously Linda Blair post Exorcist. She's trying to kind of break away from being a little girl. This one, I haven't seen this one, but I think this is the one where she goes topless and everything else like that to show like I'm a real actress and I'm not a little girl anymore.
Ooh.
What's even weirder though, Greg, is that that movie, Chained Heat, it had multiple sequels.
What?
Yeah, there's Chained Heat 2 starring Bridget Nielsen, which obviously now you're going down, B list. And then you have Chained Heat 3 Dark Confessions, which honestly looks like a Skinamax film.
I was going to say, like, can we talk about the titles of these movies in general? Like, they already sound like pornos.
Oh, definitely.
The Naked Cage, Caged Heat, whatever. I already forgot the name of the title. Like, could they not pick something a little, if they want to deal with something in a serious way, could they not pick something a little less, like, I don't know, sleazy sounding?
I think maybe that's like the appeal to it. There's like a little bit of titillation that goes along with it when you go to the movie.
Yeah.
Like if you we had to transport ourselves to the 80s. We're going into
oh my god, there's garbage everywhere.
Exactly. Everyone's smoking. Cocaine is rampant. If you went to a movie video rental store, which to all you Zoomers out there is a place where you borrowed movies like a library, you would kind of go off of the title, I think, a little bit, right?
The title and the cover, man. Those
Yeah.
especially.
Especially because you remember in like Blockbuster, sometimes if they were missing the cover, you just got like a nondescript Blockbuster cover for the VHS tape and the
Mhm.
title right on the front. So
Written in
if it
Sharpie by the clerk.
exactly, so if it was just like locked up, right? It was just called locked up. You'd be like, I don't know. Oh, the naked cage though.
Oh,
This
I like naked
promises
things.
nudity right on the front.
I mean, yeah. There's no way you're wrong. It was clearly like a like a marketing business decision to name these movies with it. I mean, they knew what they were making. It's it's still refreshing though that this movie was as good as it was. Like it could have been way worse. It could have been way more of a Skinemax flick than it was, which I'll applaud the director, even though he clearly found a weird genre to stick his name on for multiple movies. He at least tried to do something with it. So credit
And
where credit's due.
if they had the VHS cover on there, the tagline for it, what these women did to get into prison is nothing compared to what they'll do to get out. 2,000 chained women stripped of everything they had,
Oh my
except the
god.
courage to survive. Like
Of
that
course they
right
use the word
there.
stripped.
Yes. It's like they did some heinous shit to go into prison, but the shit they'll do to get out, watch out. Which, to the film's credit, isn't that extreme.
Yeah, no, not really. Again, like we we're talking about to our audience as if they're also like on the same level of weirdos we are, where they watch this kind of stuff on a regular basis. To a normal audience, like the Marvel movie going kind of Pixar audience, they would be shocked and disgusted probably by this. But
That's
yeah,
the sad part. We're so
yeah,
desensitized to this crap that
we live in that rabbit hole now.
well, let's get into the movie. Let's talk about some chain or naked cage, some chained heat. We get
It
the
doesn't matter. They're probably the same movie.
it's all interchangeable. We get we get the full Monty with the Canon logo. It's got
Oh
the
yes.
lens
Mwah.
flare, the
Bum, bum,
animation,
bum,
the
bum.
whole 9 yards.
Oh yeah, looks great. It was again. I was like weirdly expecting it in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and I'm so glad it's back.
You're
I
so
miss
you're
I miss
ready
it when it's
for it.
gone.
You're just so accepting of it. We
Yes.
open up with, I guess, like a legit song. Is it tough enough? Right? You've heard this song. This is kind of
Yeah.
like, I think it's performed by the Fabulous Thunderbirds. And we meet one of our first characters who surprisingly is the bad guy. Like we open up seeing the bad guy or bad woman, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah. I was surprised to see her first, but then again, I realized that just based on the way that they're like showing her, I knew she couldn't be the main character because I came into this movie expecting that it's going to be one of those cases where it's a fish out of water thing, and there's the main girl is going to be someone who doesn't belong in prison, quote unquote. And this girl we see in the beginning, she's way too badass. The way that she's dressed and like they got like rock music and she's hitchhiking. It's like, nah, there's no way she's a main character.
And they have like it's very cinematic when they first initially show her. She has these mirror
Mm,
sunglasses, and you're actually seeing the reflection of the road in them while she attempts to hitchhike.
yeah, yeah. This I feel like it's worth saying like this movie was shot pretty well. Like it doesn't look like garbage. There's lots of really interesting lighting and angles in this. And yeah, right off the bat, you get that nice shot of the desert, and then yeah, like the cool reflection in her glasses. It's surprisingly kind of impressive for a movie like this.
And sound design, especially with this character. The character that we're talking about, her name is Diane. She's played by Angel Tompkins. She was a pretty busy actress in the 80s and late 70s. She was in other movies like Walking Tall Part 2. And she did a lot of TV stuff like Kojak and The Night Gallery. But as the 90s came in, her career kind of exited along with it. But yeah, so Diane is hitchhiking, attempting to get, I don't know. They're like in California or something like that. Looks like they're in the middle of the fucking desert somewhere.
Yeah, definitely like Eastern California out towards Vegas for sure.
Um, she eventually gets picked up by John
Terlesky.
Turleski,
Yes.
who
John
plays
Terlesky.
the character. What's his name? Willie? Yeah, it's Willie.
It's
His
Willie.
character's name is Willie.
Yeah.
John Turleski is a B movie star.
Oh yeah. You can't miss this guy is like imagine the most like douchey jock character you could like the biggest 80s like douchey villain you can. That is John Terlesky. In a no like not in a disparaging way. He's awesome. I love when he shows up. He plays that character so perfectly.
He's fucking Mike in Chopping Mall.
In
He's
Chopping Mall.
Deathstalker and Deathstalker too.
Yeah, man. He just has that like kind of like greasy like bad guy smile.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's just something. Yeah, he's like. I love when he shows up in movies. He's got so much charisma.
What's interesting is when you look at John Terlesky's IMDb profile, how he transitioned from being an actor to being a director. He's a very big TV director. He's done
Really?
stuff like the what is it? The Hulu Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist. He's done The Blacklist, The Equalizer, tons and tons of TV.
Oh, so he's just
Uh,
like a director for hire kind
yeah,
of guy.
that's
Wow,
that's a pretty interesting transition there,
good
and
for
pretty
him.
neat. Maybe one day he'll bring us like Deathstalker 4
Oh my
or
gosh,
Shopping Mall 2.
we're primed for like a crappy Netflix reboot of Deathstalker.
Yes, bring it on. But yeah, obviously, as Diane gets picked up by Willie, you can kind of see that Willie is on the edge, or he's a little bit loaded as he's drinking out of his flask.
Ah, yes, the '80s were casual drinking and driving,
Yes,
or at least '80s
he
movies are anyway.
he stole a red Corvette, and they drive off onto the road. As they kind of hit it off, they have like a little rapport, and that's when we
Mhm.
transition to seeing our heroine Michelle, played by Shari Shattuck. What a name! That's a hard
Yeah,
name to.
I was wondering how you're going to pronounce that. I was reading it up. It's like,
Shattuck.
I should
Charcuterie.
Sherry Charcuterie.
Uh,
Mm,
I mean,
neat.
she's done stuff, but definitely like, I don't again like she didn't really have that big of a career. And I mean, look, I know I don't want another situation. I can't remember her name from the Apple, where I reach out to this actress one day and she hears the podcast and
Catherine
she's
Mary
like,
Stewart.
"Oh yeah." Uh,
Sorry.
but I can kind of see why she didn't have a career. She is so plain Jane.
Yeah, one of the things that I noted at the end of this was like, yeah, the performances really weren't that bad on the whole, but she was probably the exception as a lead. Like Rita was great, all of their characters in prison were great. The warden was great. She was just kind of meh.
She was hired because she has that what is it, flaxen blonde hair, and she was probably
Yeah,
cheap.
yeah. I mean, I think she definitely like she got cast based on the look, like the blonde hair, blue eyed. Like she was the perfect casting choice visually for like the kind of like the goody two shoes farm girl who got caught up in a bad situation. You can definitely
Exactly.
tell.
Interesting to note, though, while she didn't have a huge career, she was in the TV show Freddy's Nightmares.
Oh, the Freddy
The
Krueger
Nightmare
TV show?
on
Huh.
yeah, the Nightmare on Elm Street TV show.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah.
She does have something pretty interesting there. And she's at the farm with her parents, and you can tell she's a good girl because she loves horses. And I hate that as a fucking character trope. Like, she is
uh,
a good girl because she fucking loves
loves
horses.
horses. It's weird. Like, not, she loves horses, and just like the way that she behaves and the way that her parents talk to her in this scene, they talk to her like she's like a 10-year-old.
I think
Like,
she has the mind of a 10-year-old.
yeah, right. I mean, you're not wrong. She's reciprocating that behavior. It's like, I'm hungry. Did you make lots of sweet potatoes? Oh, I sure did. Let's go inside eat, dear.
We can have
Ugh.
nanners with it.
Yum, yum.
Okay.
Oh, did you make the sweet potatoes with marshmallows?
Like, saccharine sweet,
Yes,
and a little too much.
too much. They're trying real hard to make you think that she's just a sweet innocent girl who nothing bad ever happens to.
Exactly. But we
Bum bum
transition
bum.
back to the more important power couple. Oh, and by the way, Michelle is the estranged wife of Willie. They don't really make that
Really? I thought
like
they were just like
known.
boyfriend and girlfriend.
The way that I thought there was a line in it that was like Willie is my husband.
Hmm. So yeah, I mean,
Estranged lovers, we'll say that.
yeah, sure, yeah. Like they kind of he apparently had like a drug problem or something, and she
Had
did has a drinking has a John Terlesky problem. Yeah, and I guess they like broke up or something, but she was like still has feelings for him in a weird way. I don't know. It's kind of muddy.
it does get super muddy. So Willie and Diane are at a diner and they're kind of flirting back and forth. And I guess they're just hatching a scheme of like, we're going to be badasses together. And a cop pulls up and immediately notices the stolen red Corvette and starts to interrogate Diane.
A red Corvette.
And Diane spurs to action and beats the shit out of the cop pretty easily, takes his gun and kills the diner owner.
Yeah, like just blows him away.
I was kind of shocked.
Yeah, I was not like another bit of credit to give to this movie. It doesn't pull its punches on the violence, and it like there are several scenes throughout the movie where it's like whoa, like really like gritty violence, which you don't necessarily. I mean, we're conditioned by these '80s movies to expect that from male characters, not necessarily the women, but this case comes out of left field.
I mean, it looked great. The squibs were great.
Yeah,
I will say, after seeing some recent modern action movies with CGI blood, squibs are so much better.
oh yeah, and these are
So
like
much
big
better.
juicy squibs, like Paul Verhoeven squibs. They're huge,
Yes.
big blood splatters.
It's awesome. Willie comes in and sees that Diane has killed the owner and has
Wait a
knocked out a
second.
cop. Oh, yep.
Oh, so wait, Diane? I thought this was Rita.
Diane. Diane's the bad girl.
Who's Rita?
Rita?
What?
Isn't that the warden?
Hang on a second. I don't know now. Christina Whitaker.
Oh wait, you're right. Her name is Rita. Who the fuck is Diane then? Diane's the
Diane
warden.
is the warden.
Oh,
Okay.
fuck me. I just fucked that whole part up.
Oh man, like you and John Terlesky are on drugs, man.
Yeah, we are. Mine's caffeine. So Rita, the bad girl, is played by Christina Whitaker, who I can still kind of keep the same thing. Her career kind of died when the 90s came in.
I was gonna say that's why I didn't pick up on it until just now, because like, yeah, she kind of disappeared in the 90s also.
She was in an episode of Night Court, which is pretty neat with me.
Yeah, Night Court. Oh no, now I'm thinking of someone else. There's a Star Trek reference we'll get to eventually,
be like,
but
you fucked up again, Phil.
You fucked up again. She wasn't in Night Court.
I've seen Night Court. I have it on DVD.
It's not Mama's Family.
I do have season 1 of Night Court on DVD. So
anyway, Rita. Imagine Rita.
Yes, Rita has killed the shop owner and knocked out the cop. Willie, John Terlesky, he's panicked. He does a really good job of like eliciting panic, mainly because he like very emotive in his face and he's like sweating and he's essentially like, holy shit, what did you do?
Yeah. Clearly like all talk as a bad boy.
Yeah.
Like when the real shit hits the fan, he's panicking like crazy. It's funny.
Rita's like, we fucking did this, and they drive off in a truck because the red Corvette's a little too hot.
It's too hot.
What do you do after killing people, Greg? Obviously,
you get
oh, go ahead.
You get a hotel in the same town and you bang.
You get but first you have to snort coke off of a woman's breasts.
Oh, duh.
That is so skeezy. So skeezy.
It reminded me of, you remember that the Lamberto Bava movie Demons?
Yes.
That like weird those weird like insert shots of the group of like 3 guys and the one girl, and they like spill cocaine down the girl's shirt And there's like this awkward extended scene where they like scrape it off of her boobs to get the cocaine back.
Yeah.
It's just, you're right. There's something like skeevy and just kind of like gross about it. And that brought me right back to that movie.
Yeah.
Classy.
I could see this, I guess, maybe in like the 80s. Like,
That was sexy, I guess.
it just fails on every level. It just fails on every level of being any kind of like erotic, even from
Yeah,
like a
no.
thriller perspective. But we transition a really hard transition tonight. There must have been a scene in between these two because Rita is outside looking into Willie's apartment, and Willie and
Yeah.
Diane are there, or Willie and Michelle are there now. And I was super confused this morning when I watched it. I was like, I fucking passed out. And then like I
Yeah.
rewound it a little bit and I was like, no, it's just a really weird transition.
Yeah, you're not, you didn't, you, I'm glad you didn't, I wasn't the only one who's confused by that because I feel like you needed like like an establishing shot or some kind of scene of him like getting in his car or Rita saying, hey, go get some info about the bank from your old girlfriend, like some kind of connective tissue. But it's literally like a hard cut from they're having sex in the with Rita and Willie having sex in the hotel room, and then hard cut to him like crying in Michelle's bedroom about being back on drugs.
Yeah.
It's like, whoa, what is this, a flashback? What?
Is this a Coke nightmare?
What else was on that lady's boobs that he sniffed?
Exactly. But I mean, that's the scene, right? He's just like, I'm sad because I'm doing drugs again. And you can tell that Michelle is a little, she
Sympathetic.
feels sympathy for him because
Mhm.
she's the sweet girl. But Willie, despite lamenting his, sadness of this, goes back to Rita and they're like, we're gonna go rob a fucking bank now.
And that's an equally jarring transition back. Like that's what made me think that it was almost a flashback because we got two hard cuts away from and back to the hotel. Like, was he just imagining crying in Michelle's bedroom?
I gotta think so because when they transition back, Rita is still wearing that like leather coat
Yeah,
and the police officer's hat.
like no
And
time has passed.
she's like almost filleting the fucking pistol too. She's like rubbing it against her lips and shit. And I'm like, that's how people
Dangerous.
literally fucking die, Rita.
Whoopsie daisy, there goes my lips and nose.
Exactly. But then we transition to the bank and they're robbing the bank. They're wearing like the silk stocking over the hat, which is so funny. It's so archaic to
I
think that
know.
people used to do it this way.
It's so classic. It was, yeah, it was funny, but in kind of a charming way.
And again, what's really weird is Michelle's there. Michelle works at the fucking bank.
Yeah.
That was never established.
No, there was a lot of like backstory. I'm thinking that they probably trimmed it out to kind of punch up the pace a little bit because there had to be way more background about like her having a job and them hatching this plot to rob the bank because they know it because she works there. Like it just is really jarring because they cut so much out.
Yes, 100%. To the point where, like, at first I was like, this can't be Michelle, but obviously it is. Willie ends up shooting and killing a guard as they take Michelle hostage and they run out the back and start to drive away. Michelle is kind of like resistant of the whole endeavor and trying to stop Willie from doing anything, which ends up costing Willie his life as he gets nicked right in the fucking neck with a
Yeah.
bullet and dies like instantly.
Can we talk about the fact that like the cops who show up on the scene right after they run out the back door of the bank, and these cops they just start opening fire from like a parking lot's width away, just in broad daylight with all these other people around, just like just like unloading their revolvers. Like, are you kidding me? How many other people died getting nicked by these cops firing wildly into the daylight? Like, yikes.
There are multiple scenes where guards or cops, as soon as danger happens, they unholster their gun and like cock it and are ready to fucking kill someone. It's
Oh yeah.
it's so weird that they're
Just
I don't know.
casual, yeah.
Casual
Plain
murder.
casual murder.
Willie's dead and they're Willie's dead, and
Willie's dead.
Rita starts to drive away. Michelle is in the car. I don't understand why she doesn't get out.
I think she like jumps in because I think Willie, he gets hit in the neck and she's like trying to stop the bleeding. So she jumps in the car to kind of like try to keep him alive. And then Rita peels out of she like tries to get away, right? So she's stuck in the car.
Tries, but she just keeps circling inside of the parking lot like she's looking for a fucking spot. I don't get it.
All of a sudden, handicap spots.
Rita can't run over a cop. She's willing to kill like anyone, but she won't run diner guys over. I don't know. And then we cut to them being in prison. There's no like court scene or anything else like that. We just cut to them being in prison.
Yeah, I feel like that it could have used like a quick, not necessarily them getting arrested, just like a quick trial scene where we see Rita testifying like against her, like saying that like she's more involved than she was.
Like a 5-minute scene of Rita being like, Michelle was involved. She's the one who put Willie up to it. And then you get like, maybe the bank manager being like, yeah, I saw Michelle, run out the back with Rita and Willie and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Like all those elements were there. Like, because it comes up later in the movie where they keep saying a couple times how the only reason that Michelle is in jail is because Rita, the way that Rita testified against her, basically lying on the stand. Like, again, I feel like they might have at least written that scene. They just didn't shoot it.
Yeah.
Oh
well.
But we're in jail now. Hey,
we're in jail, and no one in the opening scene of being in jail is wearing like jailhouse clothes. And honestly, it doesn't look that bad. People are dancing. People are like playing jump rope and basketball and shit.
Phil, I thought for sure that we were going to get a breakdancing scene because we've had so many random breakdancing scenes in canon movies.
The fact that there is background break dancing in the movie. So
is it really going on in the background?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's so odd. So odd.
Just trying to ride that Breakin' 2 wave.
Exactly. And that's when we meet a few of the inmates. So just so I don't get this wrong, Rhonda is the butch woman, right? Like
Rhonda is that's Sheila, the tall, like the really tall girl who's sort of like the bully who's like taking
the muscle
money. Yeah, that's Sheila,
played by Faith Minton, who has been in Days of Our Lives, Miss Congeniality as housewife number 1. Like, so
way to go,
weird.
I guess. She was the one who was in Star Trek TNG. She was. Which I learned, I had to look her up because she's like, wow, like I feel like she looked like a stunt person that they probably cast. And it's like, wow, like how would I wonder what else she was in? And she played a Klingon in an episode of TNG, which is like, oh, that's perfect.
Greg, you can be honest with us. You looked at her and went, she's a fucking Klingon. She's tall. She's really tall.
She's huge. That honestly, that's why I thought she was a stunt woman, is because she's just such a physical, like imposing presence. Like there's no way. And I think sure enough, I think she did do some stunt work, but like there's no way that she was an actor first.
She did stunts for Batman and Robin.
Yeah, I saw that. That's awesome. But yeah, 100%. She has like female Klingon down pat. I wish it's a shame she didn't do more. Jeez. Wow.
That's taller than me. That's awesome. That is awesome.
She would kill everyone.
She does a really good job of being like
the muscle, like you said.
Yeah. I don't know if it's that hard to act as the bully, but she does a really good job of like commanding ownership over everyone. You can believe that people would respect her.
Yeah, definitely intimidating.
And then Michelle gets brought into the slammer, and I again, like, they kind of set up these sexy convergences. Like the cop that brings Michelle in is quite attractive, and I'm like, obviously there's going to be something there, but then nothing happens.
It's a couple things. I think it's the women, the cast are really attractive, but the the costumes that they've got them in, they look like stripper versions of cop costumes. Like they look like they're tearaway cop costumes.
And that's what I
They're,
was expecting.
yeah, you're not wrong. There's definitely a lot of like little things that your subconscious picks up. It's like, okay, something's gonna happen here. But it's weird that it doesn't.
It is. I don't know. I sound really sleazy right now. Um, but I was expecting so much sleaze with this, and I just didn't get it. And
Yeah.
at 4 o'clock this morning, I I wasn't I was upset at myself for expecting it and the
Yeah.
movie for not giving it.
I was gonna say watching the naked cage at 4 o'clock in the morning. It's not helping the sleaze factor.
Exactly. And that's
Oh.
when we also get introduced to Amy, who is like a pixie haired, again, kind of like a good girl, but she says that she's in the slammer for everything: drugs, prostitution, robbery, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, you can definitely she's definitely you can sort of start to pick out the different character archetypes that are happening. Like Michelle, she's the fish out of water, never done a bad thing in her life, got mixed up with something bad, got it. There's the jail yard bully, there's the tall girl, the muscle. That's one other character. And then there's what's her name again?
Amy.
Amy, yeah. So she's like the kind of dominant. She's done bad things, but she's still like a redeemable person, still sympathetic because she's got like a drug problem. A very specific character type, which you can
Yes.
probably imagine what's going to happen to her just based on that fact alone.
As soon as she said it, I was like, "You're fucking dead."
You're dead beat. Spoilers, but yeah.
She didn't. Amy is played by Stacey Schaefer. She didn't really have that long of a career. A couple episodes of Diagnosis Murder, and one episode of The Magical World of Disney as waitress.
Ah, yes, waitress.
Yeah, the illustrious credit. But yeah, Michelle and Amy, they're kind of getting to know each other, and that's when they, I guess, they spiel the background of each other. Later that night, though, unbeknownst to everyone, we get just random inmate number one that we've never seen before. And I don't know if it's just me, but something erotic is going to happen because she's like barefoot when she's walking through the jail as she's being escorted by the prison guard.
Yeah, it's the same like attractive female prison guard that was there earlier. Like, yeah, we're about to get one of the sleazy 80s sex scenes, and sure enough,
boy oh
cue the
boy,
music.
I was expecting sleaze. I was not expecting this though. Warden is a lesbian and she's having sex with the inmates.
Yeah, I was not expecting it to be a woman as the warden. Like you look at a movie like this, you look at canon, you expect, okay, you put together with the movie in your mind, there's a sleazy, gross old man warden, and he's taking advantage of the inmates. I was not expecting this.
Yeah. Not only is she taking advantage of the inmates, but she's also like a dominatrix, and she's hitting them too. All the while, a cop our prison guard that is only known as Smiley is peeping in on him. Smiley, I've got to say, what a fucking character in this movie. He was so dirty. He was so sleazy.
Yeah.
It was I know it sounds horrible. He was fucking great.
Oh yeah, it's one of those like those roles that they play so well as a hateable character that you just have to give them credit for making you hate the character so much. We've talked about this before. I'm sure there are other characters, but it's like that Dolores Umbridge kind of character from Harry Potter who you just hate so much of the passion.
Yeah.
Because the actress did such a good job. Like this guy, boy, he's a little too good at playing this scummy prison guard.
Yeah, Smiley is played by Nick Benedict, who has been in a lot of daytime soaps, 95 episodes of Days of Our Lives. I guess maybe that's where you can kind of see some of the sleazy action or acting kind of come through, right?
He definitely has that look too.
Oh, definitely. I'm surprised that he's not in a lot of like 80s B horror movies. He has kind of like a very imposing look with the jawline and stuff
Oh
like that.
yeah,
And he's very distinct looking. So,
he's like a scary looking Bruce Campbell. He's got that chin for
yes.
sure.
That's a good way because yeah, you look at Bruce Campbell, you're like I could be friends with him. You look at this guy and you're like, I don't
This guy's
know.
gonna rob me.
Exactly. But we get a quick lesbian dominatrix scene, and it's again like maybe because it's not the 80s, it's just not that erotic. It's just it doesn't do anything for me, Greg.
No, but I mean, it's like it's basically softcore porn. I
Oh,
mean, it's pretty graphic.
if not that part, the next part is as we meet another woman who's in the infirmary, totally naked, coming out of the shower, and Smiley is peeping in on her, and he rapes her.
Uh, yeah,
And
because
he has a
of
line
course.
that I'm not going to repeat here that made me cringe.
Yeah, that was it was I think that if we're thinking of the same thing, this was like peak racism in the movie.
Oh, yes. This was like the
Yeah.
only part where I was like, that
Ugh,
was,
uncomfortable.
yes, 100%.
But can we talk about like this happens a couple times in the movie. This woman is it's like the middle of the night. And she's not in a jail cell. So was she a nurse in the infirmary? But like, why was she showering in the middle of the night? Like, what kind of
um,
jail is this?
so I think it's set up in a little bit, but this is the place that the warden puts women at for protection. Like you work for me, so you kind of get this
Oh,
like free
okay.
pass,
You get
right?
to like instead of just having to sleep in the cell, you basically get to live in like the nice, comfortable infirmary where you've got a little bit more freedom.
100%. Yeah.
Okay, that clicks now because yeah, like a couple times I noticed like I'm pretty sure real prisons don't work this way where like you get to just wander around and take showers in the middle of the night. Like you've
Yeah.
got probably got like an hour, which is probably way too little time to shower in the morning, and then you're in bed by 6 o'clock or something like that.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely a little odd. Um, but after she's it's so dismissive. After the rape and the
Yeah.
murder, we get back with the warden and Michelle as they have like their introduction meeting. I don't know if this actually happens in prison, but they're kind of like talking about the rules.
Everyone gets a one-on-one meeting with the warden.
Yeah. And that's when the warden confides, like, hey, you're going to work for me and you're going to spy for me. And for some reason, despite Michelle being a good girl, in quotes, good girl, she's like, I'm not going to fucking spy for you. I'm not going to be no snitch. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's one of the like things about her character that doesn't seem really realistic. Like she's way too eager, it seems like, to sort of like go out on a limb to like protect and ingratiate herself with other inmates. Like you think that she would be clinging to the warden because she's like the good quote unquote authority figure. But yeah, yeah, it's not like her character at all to go this far to protect
Exactly.
inmates.
Kind of weird. And the warden kind of puts it out there. She's like, okay, let's go take a walk. And she shows her the dead body hanging, like, the cop Smiley murdered this woman, but they made it look like she hung herself. And on the
Mm-hmm.
wall it says, sorry, Brenda, I have no more hope. And Michelle's like confused. She's like, why would she do that? And the warden's like, well, it can either be easy here or it can be hard. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Is that a threat?
Yeah, exactly. Like you just saw a dead fucking body. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
100% a
right.
threat.
Yikes.
And then Smiley gets chastised for raping and killing the woman, which like he's kind of dismissive because he's like, hey, you have sex with these women. I want to have sex with the women. And like the warden's kind of like, oh, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, she's not necessarily pissed off that the woman was murdered, but like she's like chiding for like you got caught, like you were sloppy. Like I don't care if you take advantage of the women, but just like don't be that messy about it. Is kind of what she's saying to him.
Exactly.
Ugh.
Then we get a lunch scene where we meet Vana, played by Angela Elaine Gibbs. She's part of the so there's like two sets racial groups in the prison,
Mhm.
the white people, and the black people. And I guess that's it. They don't have like anyone else. So, there's no Asians will be represented in this
it's
movie.
it's one or the other. They don't really do a good job like establishing any kind of like tension between the cliques either, which they
No.
like they try to talk about a little, but you really don't feel it. They just kind of keep to themselves. But
The
yeah,
only thing that I could see that sets them apart besides race is the fact that the white women wear teal and the black
oh my
women wear
god,
like a
yeah,
salmon thing.
we have to talk about those costumes because you're right. A
They're
like
not costumes.
yeah,
They're not costumes. It's a fucking
they're
cloth, Greg.
sacks. they're like okay, so like imagine like a sweatshirt, like a cotton sweatshirt, but as a dress. Like that's the material. But they've got them color coded based on your race, which is yikes and gross. Because like yeah, like you said, like the white women have these like robin's egg blue ones, and the black women have these like kind of salmon pink ones. Like why would they give them different colors? But not only that, like the women, if these are like prison issue garments, they don't seem to give a shit about them like messing with them because all the women they've like torn them up and like made them into these like sexy mini skirts. It's the weirdest thing that they've got these women dressed in. I don't know why they thought that was a good idea.
They're gonna
It
get
doesn't.
fucking pneumonia in these.
Yeah,
They're gonna get so fucking cold.
like I feel like in real prison you would get seriously punished for cutting up your whatever, I don't know what they call them, like their uniforms or whatever.
Uh, uh, yeah, their uniforms. I guess it would be uniforms, right?
Uniforms, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, they're really they're like potato sacks basically though.
Angela is still acting today, and this woman is fucking knocking it out left and right, consistently working since this movie has been released. She does voice acting for like fucking Adult Swim cartoons, Greg.
Really?
It's insane. She was on C Lab 2021. She was in the one show that they had called Black Jesus. Um, she has been in quite a bit of different things in her career, TV, movies. Really impressive.
Wow. Yeah, no, I just jumped into her IMDb. Wow, yeah, she's got like consistent credits through the 2000s. I mean, I'm doing a lot of scrolling here. It keeps going.
Yeah.
Oh, good for her. It's like it's always so funny that these movies were like the leads, even like the co-stars, how many of them just kind of go nowhere or get out of the business. But these, like the background characters, they're working people. Like they stick in the business forever, and some of them are the ones who become stars, which is yeah, kind of crazy to think about.
It is because like her role in this film as Vanna, while it is critical, she has agency in it as being the leader of uh, the African American prisoners, but she's so undercut by the rest of the story. You know what I mean? Like it
Mm-hmm.
seems like she has something important to do, but the movie is like we got to move so fucking fast to get to the end that despite what you're doing is important, we're not going to show a lot of it.
Yeah, there's definitely a missed opportunity there to do some kind of like where you show the dynamic between the two kind of cliques and showing them like kind of like there's tension there between them and they kind of fight each other, but then they have to team up near the end, kind of put aside their differences and team up to get back at the evil warden and the guards. Like even though it's like on the nose, you'd think that they would make time to do that kind of thing, but they just kind of don't.
Yep. And Amy and Vanna are talking about the recent death. And Vanna's kind of like, hey, keep the drugs out because that's what causes people to kill themselves. And Amy's like, hey, I'm clean. I don't do drugs anymore. And then there's a kerfuffle in which some of the inmates fight, and
It's
Michelle gets put into the infirmary because she gets hurt.
yeah, not even just hurt, Phil. She actively jumps into this brawl to defend Amy,
Which makes no
which
sense.
makes, I mean, it's this character, it's not realistic to assume that she would jump into a fist fight even if she's like that's her buddy getting beat. It does not jive with her character at all, like to jump in it. And she's into this fight too. Like she's at one point she's on top of the other girl, and she's like got her head, like she's like bashing her head on the tile it's like really like she's into this fight. She's pissed off. It does not match with her character at all.
If you were to see this fight in real life, it would be like one of those world star ones. It's like it's pretty
It's
and
intense. Yeah.
yeah. And the warden comes and visits Michelle, and it's kind of like essentially kind of reiterizing, hey, like you're on my team. I will protect you. You've got to do what I fucking say. And Michelle's kind of just brushing her off. And
Yeah.
Amy comes and visits, and she's like, haha, I'm cute. And we're a team, and I'm recovering drug addict, and kind of just goes over the entire character of who Amy is again, right?
Yeah. This is where we get my runner-up quote of the week, where it's like the performances in the scene are so bad, but like we get that like little bit of like a morality play of them like stay away from drugs, kids. And then Amy says this really like cringy line, like, will you help me stay off the stuff? And Michelle says, yes, I will. And then the scene ends.
I gotta say, like, as they were saying that with the quote unquote intensity of the scene and them being alone, I expected like a sexual moment between the two.
Oh my God.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. It's just, it's sad that that's like what we're conditioned to expect from these movies. That they would try to parlay this, aside from the bad performances, kind of a genuinely emotional like scene between these two characters, like kind of like letting it out, letting their feelings out, and talking about all the troubles they've had. It's so bad that we expect a canon movie to turn that into a sex scene. Because you're right, they would do that in any other movie.
Oh yeah, 100%. The ghost of Menachem Golem is hearing us talk and wished we were adults in the 80s to hire us to make movies like that.
I was gonna say, like, I wish I thought of that.
Like,
that would have been sexy. Ugh.
I don't know. So weird. It's the next day, and Amy shows Michelle a broken bird. And she's like, I'm not going to free it. It's mine. Which I thought there was going to be like some kind of, I don't know, like speech or something like that given to Amy about like, this bird represents us being caged up and you got to let it fly free. But there's never a moment like that.
No, it definitely, as soon as you see that broken bird, it's like, okay, like you know something bad is going to happen to that bird or to Amy if you didn't already think that before, which that kind of works. But you think that the bird is going to kind of play more of a metaphor, but you're right. It just kind of, I think we see it get set free near the end, but it's not really brought up again.
Yeah. Kind of wasted moment. There's not even an erotic moment with the bird. So there's more going ons around the jail and just kind of like idle moments, but we get this moment, a POV moment. And I got to say, this is where the sound design, exactly. There's like a sound design moment. Rita is back, and her character, now that we know that she's truly evil, when she shows up, it's like a rattlesnake sound.
Yeah. It's like, so it's
really good.
Yeah. You get this, like all of the set sound drops out and you just get this like boom, 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 boom. And then you get this, like, it's in like a maraca. I'm sure there's a name for it. It's like a percussion. It's like like beans or rice in it. It's kind of that like a rattlesnake sound. And it's this like POV shot of her going through the cafeteria and looking for Michelle based on like other blonde women with kind of the similar hairdo. And she's like, you see her like pull the hair back on a couple of them. Like, oh, that's not you. That's not you. And when she finds Michelle, we get another crazy, like shocking bit of violence. She stabs Michelle's hand like completely through with a screwdriver into the table.
How fucking amazing is it too? And Michelle takes it like a fucking champ.
Oh yeah, I would be screaming my head off. That sounds, it's got to be super painful, but she just like barely says a word.
She's like, someone pull it out.
Yeah. And then she hides it without saying a word. Like, yeah, it's like it comes out of nowhere. Like you're not expecting, something is going to happen, but you're not expecting that because you get like a quick cut to a close up of the screwdriver going through. I'm assuming it was a fake hand, but yeah, it was
so good,
really surprising. Yeah.
There's kind of like a showdown between Sheila, the the new guard and Rita. She was apparently the badass, the old guard, and
Mm-hmm.
she was like, "I run this place now." And Rita's like, "You fucking think?" And obviously, bump, bump, bum.
Hatching a plan.
Rita looks. She has uh her smock, her her bag. She's all sexied out in this thing. She has like
Yeah.
tassels on it
When did
and
she have
shit.
time to do that if she just got here?
Arts and crafts moment. She's like maybe they have it from her previous stint because apparently
Oh
from
yeah.
what's insinuated, she escaped. They don't come
Oh
out right and
yeah.
say it, but they kind of insinuate that Rita escaped prison.
I think because when they're in the hotel, when she's in the hotel room with Willie, I think they say it on like the news broadcast that's going on the radio in the background, where they say like an escaped convict, Rita, some blah blah blah, blah is like just got killed a diner person. I think that's when they mentioned that she'd escaped.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so quick. You miss it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yes, so Rita's back and she is out for blood on Michelle because she blames Michelle for being caught by the cops, despite the fact that Rita was the one driving and
Yeah.
just couldn't fucking figure a way out of of a parking lot. Like, just super weird. I don't know. I get it though, misplaced anger and stuff like that.
Yeah, she's just pissed that she's back in jail and gotta vent it on someone. And why not the main character?
Poor Michelle. So yeah, so Michelle, she survived her attack, and now we get it's like Michelle, she's in the shower and she's getting cut up by Rita. It's a dream though.
Once
And
again, I was like, oh my God, not another random midnight shower scene. Oh, okay, it's a dream. Never mind.
Michelle's freaking out. Obviously, she's getting consoled by Amy in the middle of the night, and then there's like a lot. There's more bonding between them. We get a really dull scene where Michelle's parents come and visit and stuff, and then we get
Oh yeah.
another dull scene where Michelle tells off Amy's pimp.
Oh my God. We gotta talk about the douchey pimp guy. He's like, he looks like he like wrestles alligators.
He does.
He's got like this like torn off like jean vest, and he's got this stupid necklace with all these. I guess they're like teeth or claws or something on it.
He has like the one weightlifting glove on.
he's he's like just like the biggest douchey jerk ever.
If he was an 80s cartoon character, he would be like Gator Wrestler or something
Gator
like that.
Florida man.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. He is Florida man incarnate.
Yeah, and we get like you think this is gonna be the one scene because he comes to visit. Michelle like puts some kind of weird like you stay away from
Affectation on.
Amy.
She
Yeah,
like deepens her voice too.
yeah, trying to like intimidate him to stop because I guess he's the one who's working with Amy to bring drugs in, and she's trying to keep Amy clean. So he tries to scare him off by putting on this weird show like she's some hard ass, but I don't know how he buys it, but he seems to. But you think like this is going to be the only scene with him, which is unfortunate. But sure enough, we follow him out of the prison.
Yeah, we do. And Smiley, the cop, meets up with him, and essentially it makes no fucking sense. Smiley comes to see him because he's a pimp, but Smiley doesn't want to have sex with these women. He wants to have sex with the pimp's wife or main woman. And then
Yeah.
the pimp is like, hey, everyone in prison makes fun of you. And that sets Smiley off.
Yeah. I don't understand like that whole like deal between Smiley and the Florida man pimp. Like where did it's like a plot thread that goes nowhere. What is this deal that he made with him? It feels like it came out of nowhere.
I almost thought like maybe Smiley was in on the drug smuggling, right? Like Smiley gave the pimp away in,
Okay.
but it's never outright said. There's never an exchange of money or drugs or anything like that.
That would explain it. If like he was providing drugs, taking the Smiley was he was like the middleman between Florida man and Amy. Okay, that would make sense. Again, that might actually be something they wrote and just trimmed out because it was not actiony enough. I don't know.
But you know what they didn't trim out? The really weird doctor scene where like he tells like a dad joke.
Oh yeah, the doctor. What was the what did he say? All I remember is him talking about how it's like, oh, it's just a gash. He'll be fine, even though she
He,
gets stabbed through the hand.
exactly. He's like, move your fingers. Why? Because I need to prove that you can use them before I cut them off or something.
That's right. Yeah.
Really,
Ha ha ha.
really weird.
Thanks, prison doc.
That's Larry Gelman, also known as Professor Albert Einstein from Command and Conquer.
Wait, like the red alert
Yeah.
Einstein? um,
And
only
that dude
A-list
has a
actors in
huge
those.
career too, but Command and Conquer, that's all you need to know him from. Uh, the warden comes in again. It's like it's the same fucking conversation of like you better work for me and blah 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 or else.
You
And
better be
then
loyal or you're gonna lose your protection. Blah blah.
exactly, we see Sheila and her like crony kill someone for owing money, and they just kind of laugh about it. Kind of weird. And then Rita gets her moment with the warden, and the warden's like, "You work for me now, and you're gonna take out Sheila for reasons."
Yeah, again, this is another like a deal between two bad characters that I just don't understand. Like, what? Why does the warden give so much of a shit about Michelle? Like, because she's not spying for her? I
I don't
guess.
know. It's weird.
Or is she just, just generic evil lady who's trying to stir the pot and get trying to get the inmates to kill each other?
Uh, Prison is boring, and drama makes the day go by faster.
It's been a whole week since an inmate got killed.
Yeah,
I'm bored.
exactly. So she gives Rita some drugs, and Rita slips it to Sheila, and they start a fist fight. And Rita beats the shit out of Sheila, mainly because she also has a pair of brass knuckles.
But it's
Uh,
it's funny, like she still gets her ass kicked though.
oh,
Like
she does.
she probably should have used more than one roofie or whatever she slipped her in the coffee.
Sheila
Because
is a tall woman. She can probably handle her drugs.
yeah, she still dishes out a beating before she goes down. But then she just disappears, right?
Yeah.
Which is a
Sheila
shame.
returns back to her home planet. Uh,
Because she's a Klingon. She goes back to Kronos.
and then Michelle gets thrown into solitary confinement for no
Reasons.
reason. And that kind of, I guess maybe that kind of like sets up what the warden's angle was, because the warden is going to send Smiley down there to rape, potentially murder Michelle. And we forgot a really big plot point. When Michelle was in the doctor's office, she finds, I guess, a lead weight, and she hides it
Oh
in
yeah.
her cast.
So yeah, because it's like a lid to a jar of something, some medical stuff, but
But
apparently
that shit
it's
would
it's
be made out
heavy.
of tin. If it
Yeah.
was like, it would be made out of tin.
Like not yeah, so like that's stupid thing number one. But stupid thing number two, she puts it into the hand that she just had impaled with a screwdriver. Like that's gotta hurt to be trying to bash people's faces with that hand.
Yeah.
Ouch. But she does it anyway. She sneaks that little lead weight around and she needed it.
But so the warden has essentially charged Smiley to go down there and rape Michelle, but Michelle beats the fucking shit out of Smiley. Just
Yeah.
beats the shit out of him. It's great. Like breaks his nose. There's a really great, I guess, like depiction of violence and how much damage this guy's taking, because he's got fucking blood all over his face.
Oh yeah. Like she
It's
really does a lot
great.
of damage. I think that it looked like you couldn't get a good shot of it, but I think they actually did some prosthetics on his face too. Because like when he's like laying there, he's unconscious. I think you see his face is super swollen, and yeah, it's that little medical jar lead apparently did its job.
Exactly.
There was
The
a before we go far from the solitary cell. Did you notice this little detail? On the wall, someone wrote "Rita sucks."
Oh,
Yeah,
nice. Nice.
a nice little detail.
Hmm.
Unexpected from this movie, but some set dresser thought ahead.
The next morning, a new prison guard, recently hired, is going to go give Michelle her food. And that's when it's discovered Smiley, bloody, battered in the room, and
Mhm.
Michelle's, top torn off and stuff like that. The cop or the prison guard shows a lot of interest in what's going on. And, spoilers for the movie, it's because she's an undercover cop.
Oh my god.
But that kind of it goes nowhere with it though.
Yeah, again, another plot thread that just kind of is mentioned in passing and really goes nowhere. But she's like the worst undercover cop too. What undercover cop announces at like the drop of a hat to a prison inmate, "I'm an undercover cop, you idiot," or whatever she says.
It
Ugh.
yeah, it's I don't know. It's kind of weird, right? But yeah, the cop is she reports all the information to the warden. The warden's like, "Hey, let's just keep this between us." And she's like, "Yeah, sure, as long as you're going to find justice for Michelle, who was locked up in solitary confinement." Um, did you know that Albert Woodfox was the prisoner that served the longest time in solitary confinement? I think
How
we've
long?
had this conversation before, which makes me think that we've also seen someone in solitary confinement, probably one
Yeah,
of the Chuck Norris films.
I was gonna say, when did we get something in prison? Was it 10 to midnight?
Maybe.
I know we bring that movie up a lot.
You know how long
Mm,
he stayed?
uh, how long?
43 years.
How was he not just completely insane by then,
I
being
think
in
he
solitary that
is
long? Oh,
permanently fucked
okay.
up.
I was gonna say, like, I don't know a ton about it, but I've heard enough about solitary confinement to know that like it just like breaks you
Yeah. I
being
think
alone that long.
I think it was before rules really were implemented for how to treat prisoners and stuff like that. Because
Yeah,
majority of the states now will only allow you to be in solitary confinement for 15 days.
which even that, I mean, again, I don't know a ton about like what research has been done, but even that feels like a ton of time. 2 weeks ish is a lot of time without any human contact.
They say you can have hallucinations after 72 hours in solitary confinement.
Oh my god.
That's
And this dude spent like practically a full lifetime in
yeah,
solitary.
that's weird.
Yikes.
Uh
But Michelle seems to do okay. She
yeah.
just bashes some dudes. Good to go.
Amy is taking a shower, and you can tell that something bad is about to happen because obviously she's vulnerable, she's naked, and then
She's all by herself.
the rattlesnake sound comes up, and Rita injects her with heroin and is like, "Hey,
Oh
like,
no.
congratulations on being addicted again." And man, it's like a train wreck immediately. Like the next scene that we see Amy in, she looks haggard as
She
shit.
looks like death. I
Yeah.
mean, it's almost I'm not a drug expert, Phil, but I feel like you sort of like progress to that level. It's not like an overnight thing. It looks like she just like got up and didn't put makeup on, but
Oh
she just
yeah.
like looks like death.
She like goes up to Rita and she's like, "Mama needs a fix."
Mama needs a fix, man.
It's
Jesus.
so weird. In order for her to get her fix, though, Rita has to start instigating certain things around the prison. So she goes to the African American prisoners and she's like, "Hey, Smiley's the one who killed, your friend early in the movie. Maybe you guys should kill him." And then she goes to Amy, or sorry, she goes to Michelle and she's like, "Hey, I found this key to the basement and it's going to be really cool. You can hide in there from Rita."
That's she didn't exactly say that, but that's kind of how it feels like, oh, it'll be cool. We should go down there for reasons
Yeah.
by
As
yourself. It's not a trap, I assure you.
as soon as Michelle goes in there, Amy locks the door and Rita attempts to kill Michelle, but Michelle gets out. And then because Amy has like a change of mind
And
and
lets her
lets
out.
Michelle out, and then they
Yeah.
lock Rita in there. And I was like, "Oh, that's an interesting way of dispatching Rita. Like they'll just lock the door and she'll just die."
Yeah. How did she get out?
Uh, I, I
Did
don't know.
she just like like phase through the wall at some point off camera.
Yeah, Rita's has superpowers. But Michelle has like now turned her back on Amy. She's like, I can't fucking believe you do that to me. And you can tell that something really bad is about to happen to Amy because she starts breaking down and crying. And if
Yep.
you think that this scene was set up for something to happen later, later is now, and we are there.
Later is now. Come up and says here.
Rita
Hey.
makes Amy eat a shard of glass, and they like punch her face and stomach to like make her inhale it essentially, and she just cuts up her esophagus and dies.
Yeah, it's again, and we get a lot of blood too. It's really grisly. I mean, it's not necessarily gory, but it's like knowing what's going on. It's surprise very violent. It's
It
pretty effective.
is. There was a TV show on HBO called Oz. Have you ever seen Oz? It's like 90s. It's like one of the first HBO shows.
Yeah, it doesn't ring a bell.
There it's set in a prison, and I remember one of the first memorable deaths in it was like one of the prisoners in the kitchen has been grinding up glass in a mob boss's food and feeding it to him. And he's like, one day this is gonna fucking kill him. And then eventually that day comes and he just starts like coughing up blood and stuff. It was insane. And he was like, essentially, he was like, holy shit, I can't believe that worked.
Oh my god. That's pretty violent.
Yeah. But yeah,
Man.
so yeah, it was a pretty violent death for poor old Amy.
Poor Amy. Again, you just know that character, they never meet with a nice end, because it's always like that those characters getting something tragic happening to them is what always spurs the main character to take action. And of course, that's exactly what happens.
Yep. Michelle gets a shiv from another inmate who has apparently like a target of shivs on her leg. It's like all like strapped to her and shit.
I mean, it may as well have been like a guy with a trench coat in alley. Like she like opened up her. What do you got? I got a big shiv. I got a small shiv. I got a corn cob shiv.
So
no problem.
It all of a sudden it turns into a movie, right? Like there was no real believability that this would be real life, but all of a sudden it's like we're in a movie.
Yeah, I mean, if she wasn't behaving like a normal human being before, she's definitely not now.
Again, yeah, it's kind of weird that she went from being like a good girl to
I'm going to straight up murder this person as revenge.
exactly. Exactly. The warden is talking to Smiley and she's like, okay, we have to get Michelle and Rita in a position to where we can kill Michelle, but it has to look like an accident. So don't use your shotgun, use your handgun to kill them.
Because inmates have handguns.
Yeah. But because Smiley has been beaten to shit, he has really great makeup and like bandages on his face. He looks like a fucking horror movie now.
You know, he like with that stupid nose cast with it's like these like two giant nostrils cut into it. He looks like Lon Chaney, Phantom of the Opera.
Yes.
It's like the stupidest looking thing. And they just like hard cut to him. This is the one spot in the movie where actually I laughed out loud because it was so goofy looking.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's 100% like we're in a movie, guys. Like it's kind of
oh my god, that guy looks like shit.
But later that night, all the African American inmates that are riling themselves up to get murder on Smiley, they're like literally chanting, "Let's kill Smiley! Let's kill Smiley!" Vaughn is like, easy. we shouldn't do this, and everyone else is like, yeah, we're gonna kill him.
Okay.
And then Michelle and Rita, they're in the same like jail cell area, and they're kind of like staring each other down. And
oh yeah, at night there, like Rita's like smoking a cigarette, and Michelle is sort of like fondling the shiv that she's got under her shirt.
Yeah,
just staring at each other.
So Michelle goes up to the undercover cop and is essentially like, "You're going to get me the fuck out of here," which doesn't make any sense because like the cop was on Michelle's side.
Yeah. Oh, and she like that's right. She like pulls her knife on her, like up
Yeah.
to her throat. Is like, let me out now and get me to a phone.
Again, super
Whoa.
super weird actions from this character. Like
Yes.
you had the cop on your side. What are you doing?
Yeah, like she could have helped you get out, like which is I'm assuming that was probably part of the undercover cop plot was like they were trying to uncover like bad things happening because of the warden, and she could have used that to get a deal to get out of prison sooner, but now she's pulling knives on undercover cops. Like she's never going home
Exactly until the end of the movie.
until the
Um
end.
s- Smile but Smiley sounds an alarm, which obviously like for some reason
Red alert.
lets the African American prisoners like out of their cells but not their cell block.
Yeah, how that's what I'm trying to wonder too, because I remember like we see that shot of them running down the hall in a kind of like a big mob,
Yeah,
but how did they get out that far?
I have no idea. It doesn't make any sense. It
No,
doesn't
because
make any sense.
no, yeah, they make a big to do about getting keys later to get out of the cell block, but again, this prison, who knows how it works? Because apparently they're taking showers in the middle of the night, walking around on their own. There's like no rules.
Smiley kills a couple of the inmates while they're crowding the jail door. Michelle throws a pair of keys at them to assist them in escaping and getting out. Michelle shoots Smiley in the leg. She's like a fucking crack shot.
Yeah, from across a huge room.
It's
Yeah,
insane.
whatever.
Smiley sees the African American inmates getting out, and the fear is in his eyes. He realizes he only has 6 shots in his gun, and there are more than 6 prisoners on their way to murder him.
There's a really good bit of tension here where he's kind of he had just gotten shot, he's on the ground and he's out of bullets, and there's this like race between him reloading his revolver and one of the girls behind the bars trying to like fumbling with the key to try and unlock it. It's
Yes,
actually really well done because they've got some good music kind of pumping at this point.
this whole sequence is really well done
Yeah, they really ratchet up the adrenaline.
because he gets to the end of this hallway and there's more prisoners with everyone has a shiv now. There's more prisoners with shivs behind bars reaching out to grab him. And
Yeah,
then there's obviously the other inmates coming down the hallway
chasing
to
him.
kill him. He attempts to climb up into the second level, but he's quickly pulled down. And as he's pushed up against some bars, he's held against them by the people on the other side. And everyone starts fucking stabbing him.
Yeah, this dude is like a human pincushion. He's got like a billion shivs in him.
This
It's awesome.
this scene reminded me of Day of the Dead, the George Romero film,
Mhm.
when like the army captain is running away from the horde of zombies coming towards him, and then he opens up the door and there's just more zombies and they're like pulling apart and he's like, choke on it.
Oh yeah, that's like the centerpiece kill in that movie
Yeah.
where he gets like torn in half.
It reminds me of that because this
Yeah,
Smiley has realized there is no escape from his fate. He is fucking
yeah.
dead.
That's a really good comparison. That kind of like him running up and seeing that dead end, and you can just kind of see or you just like watch him die inside. And he's like, yeah, there's I'm a dead man. It's
uh
great.
Rita takes Smiley's gun and belt and arms herself. She's ready for the showdown between her and Michelle as they chase each other through the hallways of the prison. And they end up back in that boiler room basement area. Michelle has nothing to defend herself, and Rita all of a sudden can't hit the broadside of a fucking barn
Mm.
as they chase and run and chase and run.
And tackle and hide and run and chase.
And then the undercover cop shows up and kind of like she like pushes Rita into a transformer on the wall. Now, not Optimus Prime. It's just this exposed circuitry.
Oh my god,
Like
I
that,
love it so much.
like this is again, it's like capital M movie moment. exposed circuitry on the wall in a basement that's dark and damp. And then they throw
Mwah.
Michelle, or they throw Michelle, they throw
We
Rita
wish.
against it, and she fucking electrocutes herself
Yeah.
and dies
She gets
for
Frank Grimes.
for a
Look at me. I'm Homer Simpson.
there was a quick moment before like the official, like she is dead, that I thought she was going to come up and be somewhat super powered,
Oh my
like
God.
because she's
That
like
would have
kind
been
of
awesome.
twitching there, and you're like, I'm like, maybe she's not fucking dead. But then they transition, and Michelle drives home in her shitty Honda as she looks at her mom and dad, and they're like, look, it's Buttercup, your horse. And
And
she's
it's
like,
had a baby.
yeah. She's like, fuck yeah. And she jumps on the horse's back and she rides off into
In slow
the.
motion.
And what I love about this part, though, this slow motion part, where Michelle is supposed to be free and we're supposed to be feeling feelings for her of probably like happiness or
Follow the
something.
horse. Follow the horse.
Her ascot, her neckerchief that she's wearing, flips up and like blocks half of her fucking face for majority of the shot. And
Yeah,
I
it
guess they
does.
went like, that's good enough.
That's good. Print it. I mean, would you do another take? Did the horse like get shot after that one take and they couldn't
Yeah.
do it again?
They're like, the
Like,
glue factory needs its
like
hooves.
Mr. Elmer is here. He's tapping his watch. I mean,
But
he had to do another take. Jesus.
that's the naked cage. 3
Oh,
stars.
before real quick, we
Oh,
forgot the warden's end. Um, as
oh yeah.
like they're cutting back and forth because like we're cutting back and forth between Rita and Michelle's chase, and then like the warden has brought in like a riot team who are just the worst riot police ever. They just immediately get like overwhelmed and killed by these like rioting prisoners. But then the warden has this big brain idea to put on the riot gear herself so that she can walk in disguise and find Michelle and or Rita and just shoot them. But of course, the prisoners get her too, and she's dead.
Yeah, it's so quick because she's in riot gear, right? Or she's like
Yeah,
in her
got the
like a
mask on.
police, like a fucking warden first off would never be doing that.
No.
But because she blends in so much with just all the other Shemp, guards,
Yeah.
like you kind of lose who she is in the mix. And again, like I totally just forgot to even say that. Yeah, she fucking dies.
Yeah. It's so like it would have been better if they kind of tease that out a little bit. Like when the inmates realize who it is, they like, oh well, and they like string her up and they tease it out a little bit more, but instead they just kind of like, zombie mob her and then she dies off camera.
Yeah.
Very unceremonious. But yes, I agree. It was a 3 out of 5 for me. And I wrote next to my 3 out of 5, I actually didn't hate it.
I actually didn't hate it. I mean, I think that's the best or what you could expect, the best expectation from a woman in prison film. I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it. It wasn't, like we said a couple times, it wasn't as sleazy or exploitative as it could have been. It had a little bit of that. It wasn't totally clean, but the parts that weren't that were actually not bad.
That's yeah. I mean, that's it's kind of a weird thing to say. Like I didn't totally hate it, but I agree. I didn't totally hate it. It was way less sleazy than I thought it was going to be. And I mean, I think that's the best that you can expect.
Yeah. I mean, there was some, I mean, just kind of like, a couple notes off the top of my head. I mean, it was the first 10 minutes was pretty good. Honestly, I wish they'd not gone to prison at all. Like the whole thing with them on the run and John Terlesky and Michelle, like him, I kind of liked the whole prison or the whole bank robbery scene. All of that was actually kind of entertaining. I wish they had kept with that, but even the stuff in the prison, I mean, like there's some decent action and all the gritty violence, like all the squibs and the screwdriver and the glass and the electrocution and all that stuff. Like that was all pretty well done. the movie looked okay. There was some good lighting. There was some good, like, the camera wasn't just locked down the whole time. There was some good tracking shots, and the music was okay. There was like some real talent going on behind the camera. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, it definitely, there, someone or a couple people cared enough about this movie to make it not so shitty, which is impressive.
That's, I mean, again, that's a good way of putting it. Just not so shitty.
Not so, someone cared somewhere. But yeah, I mean, the rape scenes were pretty bad. The weird, like, sex slavery thing that the warden has going on is gross. And the plot wasn't as tight as it could have been. Like, all the, like, the undercover cop and the Florida man and the warden's deals with other people. Like, there was a lot, like, in the story that didn't make a lot of sense. There's a lot of stuff that was trimmed out, but that's where it loses the most, like, stars for me. Is just like, it was technically, and it was technically competent and kind of fun, but the story didn't really hold together all that well. But
yeah, as we said, like at the beginning, especially that beginning, it just, they wanted to get to the prison so quick that they forgot that they needed to set up the plot to get there. And then like people like Sheila kind of just disappearing from the movie, and all this other stuff. Just
interesting characters gone. Yeah, I mean, it's I mentioned Orange is the New Black in the beginning. That was a really fantastic show. I'm not sure if I've seen all of the seasons of it, but I think if you like that show, or you like things like that, and you really want to see something like it, maybe check this out. Otherwise, I'm not sure I could really recommend it to anyone, but because it's not really like a fun genre movie for, horror fans or slasher fans or anything. So yeah, you have to be really, like, a weirdly interested in this niche genre to really care about it, I think.
Exactly. If you're bored and got 90 minutes to spare, check it out.
It's free on Tubi, which, by the way, I wanted to tear my eyeballs out from the ads because I saw the same stupid ad for crappy online poker that
with Morpheus.
With Lawrence Fishburne shilling his face off for this stupid poker app. Oh my God. I hate ads so much. But I wasn't, going into this movie with the expectations being as low as they were, I was not prepared to pay for this movie. In retrospect, I might have shelled out a couple bucks to rent it to avoid ads, but when I started it, I wasn't. I'll deal with the poker ads.
If this was a $6 Blu-ray, I would have snapped it up.
Does this have a Blu-ray release?
It came out a while ago, and now it's out of print. So I think this one is actually kind of expensive now. It's always fucking weird when you see like movies like this, where I guess Vinegar Syndrome happens with them, right? Like, oh, it's, like it's out of print, and it's this really obscure movie that no one would ever really want to watch except for you because you're weird.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Like who is the target audience for this? It's such a niche genre. Like, it's not an action movie. It's not. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard enough to quantify. Like, I'm not surprised it's out of print. I mean, I can't imagine it's a collector's item, but yeah, you can definitely see Vinegar Syndrome or another kind of like boutique Blu-ray company, Severin or Scream Factory or someone, doing like an anniversary edition release for this at some point. Maybe then we'll pick it up.
I hope Vinegar Syndrome picks up a couple more canon films, because they've done a couple. I really hope they kind of pick up some of these more obscure ones, because I think we've talked about this, and I know we've definitely talked about the movie, but I think we've also talked about this. Fucking that Hard Rock Zombies movie is a Vinegar Syndrome release.
What?
Yeah, it's a Vinegar Syndrome release.
Was it one of the early ones?
It's going to come out. No, it's going to come out this year. It's
just new.
It's going to be in one of the boxes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not out of their wheelhouse. So maybe one day there will be a box set of niche women in prison films. This one and Chained Heat and Or maybe they'll do a Chained Heat trilogy. They did Tiger Claws 1, 2, and 3. Why not?
Well, you never know. We can
You
only
never
hope.
know. We can only hope. We're the only ones hoping.
So I'm gonna give you an option for next week. Okay. They're both canon films now, but there's a stipulation with them.
Oh.
Okay. Okay. So the first one is the next one that would logically come out, called America 3000. I found a copy of it. It's a VHS rip, so you can guess the quality of it.
Hot trash.
Okay?
Got it.
Hot trash. And obviously, since our eyes are so used to 4K beautifulness, might give you some headaches. The other one, though, will require you to sign up for a 7-day free trial of Screen Picks through Amazon to watch.
Screen Picks.
Yes.
The hell is that?
I have no idea, but it's only $2.99 if you forget to immediately cancel it. So it can't be that great.
Yeah.
And it's going to be the David Carradine POW, The Escape.
Oh my God.
So
is this another prison movie?
It looks like it's his what is it? What
Missing in
action film.
Oh God. I mean, okay, so that's an interesting choice, because America 3000, without knowing anything about it except for the title.
America 3000 is a movie set in America post nuclear fallout, where women rule the world and men are like the gender roles have changed. Like men are like the stay at home.
Okay.
So
like post-apocalyptic Mad Max matriarchy, basically.
Yeah.
See that, and that's just thinking about the title. I was assuming it was some kind of Mad Max ripoff, and those have the potential to be interesting. But like, we watched that Italian one. Like, what was it called?
That's so weird. One of the
Final Executioner.
One of the episodes that I just edited, we had the same conversation where you're like, "What's that Italian movie that we watched?"
It was so forgettable. That was my point. Is like these kind of post-apocalyptic, the Mad Max ripoffs can be really funny and bad, but they can also be really forgettable, like that Italian one. I think it was the Final Executioner.
Yep, the Final Executioner.
Okay, I'm cheating. I'm looking at my directory history here, but so that's what I'm thinking for America 3000. But POW, The Escape, it's got David Carradine in it.
Yep.
And he's a notorious drunk in all of these B movies, and those are really funny too. Let's go with America 3000. I'm willing to chance the crappy VHS for the chance at had something being funny bad.
Okay, so the next one is going to be America 3000, which I kind of already gave the synopsis for. So we'll look forward to that next week. But
Mad Max ladies,
before we end the show, have you watched anything? I mean, usually this is where I go, have you watched anything actually good this week? But have you watched anything that was also good this week?
I know. Interesting that you have to phrase it that way, because it was not bad. Well, Phil, Groundhog's Day was this week. And of course, we've got to watch the Bill Murray classic Groundhog Day from 1993. So I watched that. There's nothing I can say that hasn't already been said. It's a classic. I picked it up the 4K Blu-ray, which also looks great. Colors really pop. Just a great way to see it. I'll probably I watch it at least once a year anyway, so that was kind of a no-brainer buy for me. And I also watched a movie on Shudder called Eyes of Fire from 1983. It's like I think it's part of they have like a set of all these kind of obscure folk horror movies that they just put out there. It's really interesting. It takes place in like the American colonial periods, and there's this small party of they're kind of like outlaws. Like they have a weird living situation where like one lady shacks up with a priest, and they'll kind of get driven out of town as a small group, and they settle in this valley that's haunted by this forest spirit or a witch, and a bunch of weird trippy shit happens, and their kids get stolen. It rides that line of being kind of trippy and dreamlike, but not so disorienting that you can't follow what's happening. Lots of really kind of creepy imagery and sounds, and it's a really weird and interesting movie. I definitely recommend it if you like kind of folk horror kinds of movies. I mean, if you liked The Witch from a couple years ago,
yeah,
like just hearing the synopsis, I would be surprised if the guy who made The Witch didn't see this one and have it be an influence on him. It's, very similar vibe. But yeah, definitely check that one out. I think that's in a Blu-ray box set from Severin that was pretty recent, like of other folk horror movies. So I might actually check that out as a result. What about you? What have you been watching?
So I finally watched Saint Maud. What a fucking banger
Yeah,
of a movie.
love
Total
that movie.
banger. I'm not gonna say anything about it. It's a 5 out of 5. Just go and watch it. It's like
Yeah.
87 minutes and it's worth every fucking moment.
Oh yeah, it's super intense. And yeah, if you like, I'll say this: if you like The Exorcist and movies like that, like religious horror, definitely check it out.
Oh yeah. Let's see. I watched Ghostbusters on 4K. I would have watched Ghostbusters 2 on 4K, but I didn't get that fucking disc in my box set.
Oh no.
I'm not
If
upset.
Oh my god, I'm not upset. I'm holding it together, Greg.
I'm still emailing
Ah,
Sony pictures about that. I guess we'll get it fucking figured out
that's good.
when
Ah,
I was so fucking pissed. I
I don't
don't think
blame
I've
you.
been that angry in a long, long time. I thought I was gonna make myself pass out. I was so angry.
I mean, that was
So
like
angry.
there was a lot of hype around that. That was like the big Ghostbusters box set
Yeah.
that was coming out. It had a little bit of controversy because it didn't include the 2016 one. So if you're listening, you may have actually heard about it tangentially, but like people were waiting for this box set, and you're not the only one that happened to, right?
Yeah. No, this is apparently something that's happened to multiple people. And what's odd is that there's been no official communication yet from Sony on any of their social media platforms about it.
It's funny because I remember you had like other bad disc collect, didn't you? Where you had like a Blu-ray that was kind of like misprinted.
Ebola syndrome.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's right. Ebola syndrome. How long did you wait for a response from their customer
They were
service?
fucking immediate. I sent pictures of the disc and I was like, hey, it's kind of messed up.
Doesn't play. Ugh.
Like, what can you do about it? And immediately they're like, oh, we'll just slip it into your box for next month and you'll get it. And I again, I don't really expect that much from like customer service. And I was like, I'll probably never get it, but who cares? The 4K is fine.
Yeah,
And it came. And I was like, that is amazing. It's
yeah,
amazing that it wasn't, I didn't have to twist someone's arm off in order to get this.
yeah. Like not no fault your own. It was a clearly like a manufacturing defect. Like, I mean, I guess I can understand like a bigger release box set from so like they can't have as much attention to customers as like a smaller label, but you'd think that if it happened to enough people that they would have, like you suggested, put out some kind of email or something on their Twitters like, hey, for all the purchasers of this box set, like we know there's an issue, blah, 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 blah. Send us an email here and with a proof of purchase or like some kind of like path to like getting, it's like setting it right. But the fact that you haven't heard anything is crazy.
So the only other time that I've ever had an issue with a movie purchase was when the first Marvel Phase One box set came out. It came out in this packaging that was shaped like the briefcase that the Tesseract was in the Avengers,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so weird. The people who made the briefcase is modeled after a real briefcase that is sold commercially. The people who make that briefcase are like, pump the fucking brakes. You never asked if you could do that. And
Samsonite's coming out swinging.
yeah, and like the box set got delayed, and Amazon, this was so weird. Amazon was like, hey, we know all you people are waiting for the Avengers to come out on Blu-ray, and this thing got, we don't know when this thing is going to come out. We're just going to send you all free copies of the Avengers. You can keep them, and when when your box set comes, we're all good. And I was like, that's amazing customer service and blah blah
Wow.
blah.
That's and from Amazon no less. That's actually kind of surprising.
Exactly. It is super surprising coming from them, but yeah.
Wow. Well, hopefully you get your Ghostbusters 2 4K disc sometime this year.
What's weird is like then you go online and someone's like, I got 2 copies of Ghostbusters 2 on
Oh
4K.
my
It's like, that's my fucking disc.
There's going to be like a black market of people like trading, swapping the extra discs that they've got.
If it wasn't for the fact that I don't trust anyone online, I would attempt to do a swap with someone. But I could just picture some fucking Ghostbuster goon just making all these trades, getting sent all these discs, and essentially going, look at all these copies that I have now.
You get a copy of The Naked Cage on DVD instead.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'd
Yeah.
be so pissed.
Check out, go listeners, go check out. Phil posted a short video of him opening his cases to show this craziness on the Instagram. Go check it out. It's, if you want to seethe along with us.
And I made the post. I made it's 2 videos edited together because I like made it. And then I opened up the discs to take a look at them. And then I was like, oh my God, they're wrong. And that's when I quickly made like another 30 seconds to be like,
addendum,
this thing.
Oh man, you can't win. You've had bad luck this year, but at least one company knows how to put it right. So
Vinegar Syndrome knows how to keep me happy.
There you go.
That's why they get all my money.
Exactly.
Well, I think we'll hear the quotes of the week again here and here. Your first and your runner-up.
Did I mention the first one? I don't think I did. I think I mentioned the runner-up, but I don't know if I mentioned the other one. Did I? It was after the dream sequence.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, quote of the week.
Quote of the week. I almost forgot. So, quote of the week is after Michelle has that dream of being slashed up in a shower by Rita. She wakes up and Amy's over there comforting her. She's like, "Oh, it's all over now. It's okay. It's over now." And then Michelle says, completely straight-faced, "Oh my God, Amy, no, it's not. It's just begun."
You're just having a bad dream. It's okay. It's all over now. It's all over. No. No, it's not, Amy. Oh my God, it's just begun.
Oh, you don't have to get high, Amy.
Sometimes I feel like I do. Sometimes I want it so bad. Will you help me stay off, Michelle? Will you help me?
Yes, I will.
Which again, I expected something sexy to happen there because she's kind of like sweating and stuff. And
that's not the only thing that's begun.
I don't know. It's so weird. But yeah,
we're the worst.
We are. Well,
that's
if you like
the Naked Cage.
That's the Naked Cage. And if you like what you're hearing, go ahead, like and subscribe. You can find us on all the major podcasting networks. And as Greg said earlier, you can find us on YouTube and Instagram at That's Canon. You can follow us on TikTok at That's Canon Podcast. And you can always send us an email at thatscanon@gmail.com. And remember, since we said it,
that's canon. In jail.
In jail. Greg, it's only begun.
It's only just begun.